would not have gotten to that one anyway. Diggy, line drive kick. Bryant will get a chance to return this one. And he'll have a return of 9 back to the 44. Well, remember, ESPN's coverage of the National Hockey League begins October the 6th. That will be the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Action begins October the 6th, 7:30 Eastern Time, right here on ESPN. 61 seconds left to play in this third quarter.
This is an impressive Washington football team, but Don James is from Massillon, Ohio. Was coached by Chuck Mather back in Massillon. He later became the head football coach at Kansas.
Kaufman and Turner are the setbacks, so now some question about the football as they will move it off the hash mark.
Last series, they had some success with a fullback in the middle of the line. Let's see if they give the ball to Turner, number 31.
I think Kaufman has loosened up everything with his ability, Mike. Oh, he's got to scare you to death.
Impressive backs.
Then they go straight ahead with the fullback, just as you said. Turner. Darren Williams in the bottom of the stack, along with Raymaker.
When you're a veteran coach like Don James, you know one thing, make them stop what's good. And they had success with the fullback in that last series, so make them stop the fullback. And then that'll loosen it up for your tailback.
Unless we have an incomplete pass, this could be the final play of the third quarter. Draw play to Kaufman, and Napoleon will not get out of the grasp of Williams and then David White. 10 seconds and down to 9. Lance Lewis, the Nebraska fullback, on the sideline getting a breather. And that is the end of the third quarter, so let's take a break as we head to the final 15. Washington 26 and Nebraska 14.
Now, Billy, can you stand up?
I'll try.
That's good. That's good. Now, can you walk to that table over there?
I don't know.
Walk to the table. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah.
You know, your mama's going to be real happy to see you walking.
All right.
The Oscar race begins with The Last of the Mohicans. An instant adventure classic. Spectacular. A must-see movie event.
Stay alive, no matter what occurs. I will find you.
The Last of the Mohicans. Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
There's more than new looks to the '93 Ford Escort. There's a whole new way to buy an Escort, because these 4 Escort LXs all share one low price, $10,499. The 3-door, 4-door sedan, 5-door, and wagon all have air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, power steering, power mirrors, and more. 4 Escorts, one price. Now buying an Escort's as easy as owning one.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Now, Mr. Fidelson, we'll talk about the painting.
Okay.
Now, first, the living room. I want it to be a soft green.
Uh-huh.
Not as blue-green as a robin's egg.
No.
But not as yellow-green as daffodil bud.
No.
It should just be a sort of grayish-yellow green.
Uh-huh.
Benjamin Moore knows how important it is to get it just right. That's why we work so hard to help you create a look that's simply brilliant every time. Benjamin Moore, a stroke of brilliance.
I'm paid to buy the high-volume copiers. I don't want to have to worry about them.
The corporate line from Canon.
It's simple. If our copiers are working, our people are working.
High-volume copying systems so reliable, you don't have to think about them.
All I want to know is it keeps copying, sorting, stapling. End of story.
The corporate line from Canon, the #1 copier company, and the new power in high-volume copying.
Final quarter of play, 26-14, Washington leading.
Nebraska defensively better keep an eye on number 9, Joe Kralik.
Holbert got the single coverage, and Bjornsson makes the catch. Every time he steps on the field, he makes a big thing happen, Mike. 3 times tonight.
Billy Joe Holbert put the ball right on the money on the post route. Nebraska with just a 5-man rush, and you see the route. Bjornsson did a nice job of getting Tyrone Bird on his hip and keeping him there and kind of shielding him a little bit from the football. It's just a nice position catch by the body of Eric Bjornsson. Nice job.
3 catches for 74 yards, and every one of them have been big and critical plays. Holbert will keep it. It'll go for about 4 yards. Troy Dumas, a sophomore out of Cheyenne. Free safety for Nebraska is there to make the tackle.
You got Troy Dumas coming into game number 4. He replaces Tyrone Bird, so wouldn't be surprised Billy Joe Holbert tries to work on Troy Dumas, number 4, with another post route.
Pressure from the backside, gets it away. Travis Hill never turned around. Absolutely never. And if he had it, he had himself an interception.
Nebraska came with a blitz. They put Travis Hill, who's 6'2", 240, in coverage. He's not a big coverage guy down the field against Mark Bruner. You're going to see him. He knows he's beat. He just goes face guards, picks up the interference call. Mismatch that Washington was able to benefit from.
Total yards until that penalty. Nebraska 225 and Washington 251. But you wouldn't know it by looking at the scoreboard. 26-14, and mistakes like penalties and also turnovers have cost Nebraska dearly. Napoleon Kaufman. Now late flag comes into the pile.
This is going to be an interesting call here. Looked like possibly a Washington player came in late on this. The play was dead. It appeared to me somebody from Washington came into the pile late. May have picked up a personal foul.
That's what happened, Mike. What he was trying to do was protect his running back.
Well, he was trying to help the runner, I believe. Going to see. Let's see if we can see him come in here.
What he's going after is that hit right there.
There it comes right there. Now, there's the penalty. 22, Matt Jones.
Well, what he was reacting to was the hit by number 96 of Nebraska. He saw that, thought it was late, and came in to help his teammate, and he hit David White, and that's when that flag came, I believe. Fourth quarter, 13 minutes, 35 seconds left in this one. That's only the second penalty against Washington in this ballgame. Pressure up the middle. Bruner didn't turn around in time. Of course, he didn't know his quarterback was going to be running for his life either.
Toby Wright, number 3, an extra defensive back was on the field in a long yardage situation. He put the pressure on Hobart.
You know what Hobart's saying? When I caught, you know you had the hot route. You got to turn around.
He was hot, all right. He was sizzling and he couldn't get it off.
Hobart was saying, let me get rid of this potato. he did well just to get rid of it. 225 pounds, though. You don't just bump him and knock him off his feet. Former team, I keep calling him former team, that in high school, still his teammate, obviously. Kralik was the man that he was looking for. Will Hyde on the cover.
Costly penalty by Washington. Took away a touchdown. I mean, you're on the inch line. Well, now back in the 15.
And as I mentioned, it's only their second, typical of a Don James team, that they don't make a lot of mistakes to kill themselves. Hansen to attempt the field goal from the near hash mark. Yard attempt. Well, you've got it. Hansen is automatic. We'll take a break. 29-14 with just over 13 to play. We'll be right back.
A test drive, 6 miles on smooth roads. If I was only driving 6 miles on smooth roads, I'd buy a bike. I'd get in shape. Let me test drive in rush hour traffic so I can see if it'll last like a Subaru. Let me test drive it to snowy Alaska so I can see if it has all-wheel drive like a Legacy. Don't take me around the block. Let's get it to 50 and slam the brakes so I can see if it offers anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. Test drives aren't real. What's real is the money I'm spending. Show me. Tell me. I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
Every business has its own language.
First part represents the party. The second part...
Under subparts B application.
And at US Air, we understand them all.
Another option would be to option the script that they didn't option.
It's why we offer business travelers 5,000 flights a day to 270 cities.
With 8 meg of RAM and a 1.2 gigabyte internal hard drive.
How about these megabytes?
Tonight on the Adventure Channel, join explorer Marceau Soulamer as he unlocks the mystery of the Great Barrier Reef.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
If you want a beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste, why not make a change for the better? Refreshingly different, but dry.
Subaru. It's what to drive. And by Bud Dry. For a beer that's refreshingly different, try Bud Dry. They can put that sign away. I don't think they have to create anything more than they've had here all night. Noise. It has been noise from the time this team seen on your screen right now, the Washington Huskies, #2 in the nation, since they walked on the field. You hear that report today on game day? You see those guys out there on the boats giving it the woof, woof. They'll bark on into the night. Yeah, woof, woof. They're going to bark on into the night. They're not howling at the moon right now.
They're howling in Nebraska.
15-point lead, just over 13 to play. It's going to come down to Dixon. Storyline in this one so far, besides the noise, Nebraska 3 fumbles, 17 Washington points have come from that. And Hobart, 9 of 16, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 16-game winning streak alive for Washington. And you know, for Hobart also, he has never lost as a starter here at Washington. Calvin Jones comes in at I-back. The handoff hit at the line of scrimmage to Marco Farr. Oh, we've called his name a lot tonight.
The backup quarterback, if you wonder, for Nebraska is Tommy Frazier. You see there, number 15. He's a true freshman out of Bradenton, Florida, Manatee High School. Talk a little bit about him here after this play.
action with Grant. Does not pitch it. One of the middle backers, Dave Hoffman, knocks him down.
Tommy, go ahead, Ron.
No, I was just going to say a helping hand then by Hoffman to help him out.
Tommy Frazier is the next quarterback in for Nebraska. True freshman. When he visited Nebraska, everybody thought he was going to go to Notre Dame or Clemson. He was one of the 3 top option quarterbacks. Patrick Sapp, Dexter McLean, who both went to Clemson University. But when he went on his visit to Nebraska, it was 60 degrees in February. They told him it was like that all the time.
Lustig, I believe, got the back of his arm. I don't even think it was the front of his arm on the pass and knocked it down.
Well, that was a quick series there. You got to credit the Washington defense. 3 and out.
Stiggy has been extremely busy tonight. Vino Bryant back in a single safety for the Huskies. Bryant from the 33. Flag comes down. There's going to be a push in the back by Washington, so they will scrimmage from deeper in their own territory. 48 yards on that kick. Works. And you can see the push in the back is the signal. That's something that the officials have all over the country have gotten stricter on this year, Mike, and that's just whether it's special teams or not. And that is the push in the back, and that's what's being called right here.
I'm impressed with Washington tonight. You take all the losses they've had to the NFL. Such an impressive football team.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
A noble warrior once advised, be vigilant against unflagrant perspiration. My ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick for maximum wetness protection. The best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Families are big business, so everybody says theirs is a family car. Hey, tell me it has 90 cubic feet of passenger space like a Subaru Legacy then. Enough room for 5 so you're close but not touching me close. Tell me it has a quiet, horizontally opposed engine like the Legacy. There's enough noise already with a family. Tell me it offers all-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. A family car is for my family, not some other family I don't care so much about. Tell me I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex. These extinct relics of American business remind us that waste and inefficiency don't pay. And that while perhaps it used to be impressive to throw money around, today it's more impressive not to. A timely reminder from the only company that guarantees 10:30 overnight delivery for up to 40% less, UPS.
Tom Osborne, his ball club down 29-14. Just under 12 to play in this contest. See, the penalty has pushed it back to the 21. Holbert whirls a time and puts it up long. Almost intercepted by John Reese. John had to play outfielder, and he understands that he was drafted by the Chicago White Sox for baseball.
Well, Billy Joe was just trying to turn out the lights for Loretta right there, boy. If he'd have hit that one, it'd have been all over.
Turn out the lights for Loretta.
Well, it's turn out the lights, Loretta. I don't forget the 4 in there. He was trying to get this one, put this one over with.
9 of 17 for Holbert, 137 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Barry. He'll go for 5 yards. David Noonan, junior out of Lincoln, makes the tackle. talk about the quarter system. Washington, their youngsters not in class as yet. How much of a help is that to Don James as far as preparing for the early season and a big game like this one?
Big advantage because Nebraska's on a semester system. They're in school. Washington's not in school. Even though they have the 20-hour rule, players can get in and watch a lot of film, and they can prepare a little bit. They spend a little bit more time preparing for the game than can Nebraska.
So less encumbered mentally as well, huh?
That, and you know, you don't have many things to do during the day.
Over on a short drop. Oh, he's hit. We're going to say incomplete pass as his arm had started forward, and Travis Hill made the hit on him. Hey, Billy Joe was lucky he was not injured on that. As you look at Travis, Travis had a very good ball game tonight, with the exception of that face masking call that he got caught with.
Travis Hill comes off the corner, beats the block of the tackle. Let's see whether the ball is...
Yeah, he was going forward. Hill, 11 tackles in this one tonight. Good coverage kick. This one's very high. Dixon signals for it. Boy, that was an adventure. These are portable lights here at Seattle, and there are a couple of areas where it's a little hard to see. He did a good job in gathering in that 42-yard kick. Well, Don James, if you look at his coaching file, Kent State, and then here to Washington, came here in 1975. 15 consecutive winning seasons, and the winning as Pac-10 coach. Little flea flicker. James Clifford says we will flicker the flea.
Even if Mike Grant would have had time to throw that football, there are 4 defensive backs. It takes too long. Number 53, James Clifford. But watch downfield. Look at 21, Palcoa, 7, Josh Moore. They all meet downfield on the one receiver, Vincent Hawkins.
Bell with the reception, and he will go out of bounds at the 38. Walter Bailey defensively. Here's another defensive stat for you. We talked about Travis Hill with 11 tackles at the end of that last series. Clifford now has been credited with 13 tackles for that Washington defense.
Well, the way they play defense, it's easy to recruit. You recruit linebackers because people want to play in this defense because it's an aggressive defense. Washington's way. Talk about Don James. When you play a Don James team, you're going to play one that's strong in all 3 areas: kicking game, offense, and defense. One at Kent with a linebacker named Jack Lambert.
Really good coverage kick by Stiggy this time. Bryant all the way back to the 8-yard line. And he'll just step out of bounds. 52 yards in the punt. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Wayne Fonts of the Detroit Lions.
And Chris Nickoloff of the Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund.
You can help keep Lansing kids off the streets and out of trouble by offering an alternative to gangs and drugs.
The Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund is committed to once again providing Lansing's youth with a citywide summer parks program. But we need your help. Give kids a positive influence this summer by getting them off the streets and into Lansing's parks. Please send your donations today to the Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund.
Hi, this is Jim Arnold of the Detroit Lions. You can help keep Lansing kids off the streets and out of trouble by offering an alternative to gangs and drugs. The Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund is committed to once again providing Lansing's youth with a citywide summer parks program. But your help is needed. Give kids a positive influence this summer by getting them off the streets and into Lansing's parks. Please send your donations today to the Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund, because today's youth are tomorrow's leaders.
It's back where it belongs. The NHL returns to ESPN when the Stanley Cup champion Penguins face Eric Lindros and the Flyers. Tuesday, October 6th, live on ESPN.
I'm Jim Kelly. Our ESPN golf team standing by. Can David Frost win his second tournament of this year and qualify for the Tour Championship at the same time? He's your leader. Final round live coverage of the Hardee's Golf Classic at 4 Eastern Time Sunday.
If you've never been to Seattle, you got to go to the Pike Place Market. I mean, they will airmail your purchase.
Right in the living room.
These guys are entertaining. Matt Jones. Troy Dumas is there defensively. Bird, the Nebraska secondary, who Dumas has replaced, is lying down on the artificial turf, taking a watch on this one. By the way, we've had a report on Lever. We'll get it to you in just a moment here. He left the ball game back in the first quarter. Dino Bryant, he is the ball carrier. Lever, the senior out of Atkinson, Nebraska, broken bone in his leg, and obviously he will not be back tonight. Don't know if he's going to miss the remainder of the season or not, but that's a big blow for that Cornhusker defense. Speaking of that defense, boy, they have been on the field a long time tonight. Time of possession, a real imbalance. Bryant whacked down hard. Moore, one of those, along with Williams, and then the late flag comes in.
Good penetration by Nebraska on defense. Too many mistakes tonight for the Cornhuskers.
Face mask is the call against Nebraska.
Grabbing the face mask, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, gives Washington a first down.
Against the Huskers. On the play action, Bruner is tied in, and he will come all the way out to the 43. Baron Miles defensively.
Nebraska felt like that Washington would try to move the clock, run the football. They faked the run. Mark Bruner with a block down, and then he shot to the flat, wide open for the Billy Joe Hobart pass.
Jones, short yardage. Perella is down there at the bottom of the stack. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten for this update.
Well, Ron, for 4 quarters now, I've been watching this Lincoln Kennedy-John Perella showdown, and it's been a fantastic one. Now, we know all about the award finalist that Kennedy has become, but consider John Perella. Now, here's a guy who committed to go to Colorado. The Buffaloes pulled his scholarship offer, so he walks on at Nebraska as a tight end. Now, as a defensive tackle, he's benching 500 pounds, squatting 675, and pushing an award finalist all over the field, as you saw in that last play. Perella has become one of the best defensive linemen in the country.
This is Bean O'Brien. playing with a turf toe, and he looks awfully good. We saw Kaufman. I'm not sure there's anybody any better than Napoleon in the entire country. Now we're looking at Bean O'Brien, who is semi-healthy. You're right about the running backs in this ball game. And then Jones and Brown on the other side of the line for Nebraska. These are some excellent, excellent running backs.
It's bad news for opponents when you talk about the third-team tailback can beat you.
6.5 to play. 29-14. Huskies. Turner and Darius goes around the 39-yard line.
Adrian was talking about the matchup of Lincoln Kennedy. Lincoln Kennedy, number 75, came to Washington as a defensive lineman. He committed to Michigan. If you're a Michigan fan watching this game tonight, he committed to your school. Washington still had him come up to visit. They had him on campus, and he decided to change and come to Washington. What the coaches liked about him in high school, he played offense, he played defense, he was on the punt team, on the kickoff team, kick return team. He never left the field.
You know, the one play they had to run tonight, and they worked on his Kralik on a reverse, and they pulled Kennedy to lead block on it. We watched him in amazement on Thursday because he's almost a freak of nature to be 325, and he doesn't run just as well as a big guy. He runs very well.
No, you're right. And Keith Gilbertson, who's the head football coach at California, was the assistant coach when he looked at Lincoln Kennedy. He said, if you want to move him over to offense. And that's how he got to the other side of the ball, and maybe one of the premier tackles in the country. And John Farrell, number 92, Nebraska, is playing him head up. Let's watch this matchup here.
Bryant goes for short yardage, but that time you can just see Kennedy take a little pivot and then just seal off to the inside to the first guy that came along. I'll tell you, when he seals, it seals off a pretty good area. 6'7", 325. As you look at Tyrone Hughes and his stat, -2 yards returning tonight. And it'll go into the end zone. So we'll take a break. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in this one. It's been all Washington.
A test drive, 6 miles on smooth roads. If I was only driving 6 miles on smooth roads, I'd buy a bike. I'd get in shape. Let me test drive in rush hour traffic so I can see if it'll last like a Subaru. Let me test drive it to snowy Alaska so I can see if it has all-wheel drive like a Legacy. Don't take me around the block. Let's get it to 50 and slam the brakes so I can see if it offers anti-lock brakes like a Legacy. Test drives aren't real. What's real is the money I'm spending. Show me. Tell me. I have the money. I want to know what to drive.
Noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norris ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Comfortable.
Floor Shine Comfort Tech.
A jillion tiny air bubbles make Comfort Tech lightweight and super flexible.
The comfort's made for you.
With Floor Shine Comfort Tech shoes, you can go anywhere in comfort.
Floor Shine Comfort Tech for America.
Casual looks to looks this dressy. Hey.
For America.
Get comfortable.
Floor Shine Comfort Tech.
Less than 5 in this one, a 15-point margin for the number 2 ranked Huskies of Washington. As you look at Mike Grant, and he has to feel kind of bruised and battered. Andy Mason. I'm going to say the ball is down at the 13-yard line. Mike, these are the field positions for Nebraska in the second half. They're 20, they're 13, they're 21, they're 14, and now they're 20. And that's the point you made, that this Washington defense is too good to go the length of the field unless you throw the football.
Well, when you get this Nebraska offense on the bus tonight, they're going to swear there was 14 men on the field all night.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right. Down, Dixon makes the catch, and it's all going to come back because they're going to call holding on that block. Clifford, the linebacker, was coming across. I believe it was him, and he was just tackled. Yep, that's the call, holding.
On the inability of Nebraska to throw the football has really hurt them tonight.
Watch this block. Watch Clifford. He'll just get tackled. Well, Calvin Jones said, "You're not going to get to my quarterback," and he didn't. But he raced the completion.
I'll tell you, to be honest, I didn't see anything wrong with that block. I did not see anything wrong with the block. I didn't see his arms extend. I just saw him make a good pop and then extend and knock him over. Now, let's take another look at this. Watch number 44. There's the pop. He's just driving him down.
You didn't think that he hooked him with the left arm? That's a heck of an effort by Tyrone Hughes. I can't believe that Grant was pumping the football in the end zone, and he had people just flying by. Watch this.
I'll tell you, Washington defenders had safety on their mind again. What saved them is they kept the tight end in. William Washington, number 89, the block on number 3, Jaime Fields. That saved it.
8 of 16, 74 yards, 1 interception, and 1 fumble. Stopped at the 25, and after that play, we go under 3 minutes left in this one.
Just give you a piece of advice. If you're going to play Washington, you better bring in a passing game and a running game, a little bit of mix. And try to formation and keep these guys off balance, because this is one fine defensive football team.
Well, they are. They really are. Bino Bryant drops back on a single safety as that clock is running down. Under 2.5 minutes now. Mike Stiggy been very busy as you look at Bino. I know Washington fans are happy that that hamstring pull is done with. Another good driving kick. Bryant to the 37. McDuffie. Andre McDuffie on the special team. Well, Tom Osborne and his club head back. They are 0-7 against top 10 teams since 1989. Mike, what does this do to you? Do you start believing that you can't win the big ones?
Well, I don't think so. Look who beat them. The national champion. 4 national champion teams beat them. Florida State, Colorado, Miami. Miami again, Washington, Georgia Tech, Colorado. There's coaches in the coaches' graveyard that would still be coaching if they had this record.
Scrimmage. Brunell is in at quarterback. Coming up next to Sports Center as some hugs begin on the sideline. SEC, the big upset today, Tennessee. How about Philip Fulmer, the interim head coach at Tennessee?
How about Larry Marmey, the defensive coordinator?
Right.
Both of them doing a great job there.
NFL trade, also the pennant race. All coming up on Sports Center next. We have 142 and counting left in this one. Washington, Mike, what a balance on offense. 150 rushing, 182 passing for the 332 total. Nothing close to that 618 they had last year, but plenty enough to win big. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Mike, take a look at this. And Ron, this is a one-of-a-kind Waterford Crystal National Championship trophy, the McDonald's Trophy presented to Washington for their share of the national title. Now, how's that for a crystal ball? $35,000 worth. The only thing I don't see in that crystal ball is this year's national champion.
Well, that man right there passed a big hurdle tonight and stays in the national title hunt.
Don James, very quiet, very nice guy who has done a masterful job for a long time up here in the Northwest with this Husky football team. This Thursday night, it's another edition of ESPN's Thursday Night CFA Football. First, the weekend kickoff show begins at 7:45 Eastern Time, and Russell White and the California Golden Bears travel to Lawrence to take on the surprising Kansas Jayhawks. Should be an exciting one this Thursday night on ESPN, and Kansas scoring points like the wind blows in the plain.
That will be a good football game. California didn't play this week. Kansas played Tulsa tonight, so California coming off that loss to Purdue, and so they have some extra time to prepare for Kansas. Kansas will have the short week.
And now with a pitch back to Barry. Knocked out at the 41. That's going to stop the clock with 1:16 to play. Carmer defensively. So let's see. Nebraska gets Arizona State, and it's who? SC for Washington next.
And you look at this Washington team, you know, you think where they're located. Where do you get their players? Talked to the recruiting coordinator, Dick Baird, the other day. 50% of this team is from the state of Washington, 40% from the state of California, the other 10% from most of the western states. So high school football in this area must be pretty good.
Because Nebraska went after it, and that's the reason Tyrone Hughes was 1 against 8. Justin Thomas is downfield to make the tackle. Here's Washington's schedule and what they have remaining. SC on the 3rd, then California, then at Oregon. And they play Pacific on the 24th. In Stanford, they get them at home, at Arizona, Oregon State, and at Washington State. The Apple Bowl.
Pretty good schedule. Got most of the tough teams at home.
Yeah, they do. I'll tell you, with the talent they have on offense, and if this defense continues to play this way and confuses the way they have tonight, they're going to be awfully hard to beat, Mike. Jones with a completed pass out to the 22. And under 1 minute to play.
I'm just so impressed with their football team, and when you talk about 50% of it being homegrown talent, I'm just impressed with the caliber of player that comes out of the high schools here in the state.
Mohammed bumps out of bounds up the field. They didn't mark him out. They're going to say that he stepped out at the 39-yard line, so it'll stop the clock with 26 ticks left on it.
The only thing this is going to do is make the statistics look a little better. But this has been a domination by this defense.
37 yards on that pass play. Russell Hairston on the cover. Next week we will be in Atlanta for Clemson at Georgia Tech. Bean O'Brien. Some people said he might not play tonight, but watching him this week, you knew in practice the way he was bouncing around, he was going to play. Jones. Flag comes down as he takes it to the 20, and that'll stop it with 11 seconds left. Block in the back. That's the reason it's coming back. So next Saturday, Clemson and Georgia Tech. That's where we will be. And as we mentioned, the Tennessee win today, absolutely huge. One of the things they'll talk about on Sports Center. Notre Dame won huge today, but there were some other scores that it's been a good season as far as surprises, Mike. Grant will go for it all. Into the end zone, and it is intercepted by Russell Harrison. And the clock has run out on us. Mike, quick comment.
Very impressed with this Washington football team. I think Nebraska will be in the hunt to win the Big 8 championship. Washington stays alive in the national title picture.
So I think it goes without saying, Washington, yes, they are worthy of that #2 ranking. Final score, the Huskies 29, Nebraska 14. Stay tuned for Sports Center, which follows next. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin. Good night from Seattle, Washington. Now, let's go to Sports Center.
Jeff Abbott just got his first paycheck. And his first lesson in gross and net pay.
Who's FICA? And who said he could take my money? You owe me 10.
I guess an allowance would be kind of an insult now, huh? Good thing Jeff knows where to get a break at lunch. McDonald's for a regular hamburger, 59 cents. A cheeseburger, 69 cents. And fast, friendly service guaranteed. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Will you get paid every week?
Most people know State Farm sells car and homeowners insurance. Some people don't know State Farm sells life insurance, too. I'm State Farm Agent Cecil Burt. Our life insurance policies, our prices, and our financial ability to deliver on our promises, plus the good neighbor service State Farm agents are famous for, have made State Farm one of the largest of all life insurance companies and an outstanding life insurance value.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Up next on Sports Center, a pigskin potpourri. In Knoxville, a sea of orange as the Vols keep the Gators guessing. While in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines run roughshod over the Cowboys. And the Huskers look to collar the Huskies. On the Diamonds, the Jays play some D in the Dome and enjoyed a touching moment. While the Brewers' drive to the top left them delirious. On the ice, Eric is here. So if you've got an appetite for sports, dig in. Pick your poison. The hits just keep on coming. Put on your game face for Sports Center next. Yeesh. Welcome to Sports Center. He's Linda Cohn. I'm Bill Patrick. It was a monstrous Saturday of college football, one of the biggest, really, this early in recent memory.
You know, Bill, it was also a huge day for Florida football fans. 3 teams from the Sunshine State reside in the top 4. And one of those 4, the 4th-ranked Florida Gators in Knoxville to take on number 14 Tennessee. The Gators remember Knoxville well. It was there where their coach, Steve Spurrier, lost his only game to a Southeast Conference team. Spurrier telling his quarterback, Shane Matthews, let's not let that happen again. Tennessee's defense didn't let Matthews have any say or any room to breathe, for that matter. Brought down by Sirlis and Jason Parker. Tennessee special teams got the job done in this game. Tracy Smith with a block on Shane Edge's punt. That would lead to a Heath Schuler 11-yard touchdown run. Vols leading 17-7 at the half. Get out the umbrellas. Forget the umbrellas. Head for cover. The rain didn't stop Heath Schuler on the play-action fake. The pass to Moss Phillips, who breaks tackles, goes 66 yards for the touchdown. Tennessee wins this one 31-14, and that puts an end to the Gators' 11-game SEC winning streak. Shane Matthews did throw his 56th career touchdown pass, tying him with Kerwin Bell for the school record. Now, a combination of Tennessee's defense and Florida mistakes did in the Gators. Vols' defense held Florida to just 278 total yards, their lowest total since the last time they hooked up with the Vols in Knoxville. In the Gators' last 2 games at Knoxville, they've punted a total of 15 times, and they've thrown 8 interceptions. The top-ranked Miami Hurricanes were a big hit against Florida A&M. Yeah, big hit. A&M receiver James Thurman hammered by Paul White. Thurman suffered cracked ribs. Then Miami punt returner Jonathan Harris crushed by Robert Gordon. First quarter, Miami leads 7-0. Gino Torretta with a hit of his own, hitting Lamar Thomas for a 10-yard touchdown pass. First of 2 Torretta to Thomas TDs. Miami leads 13-0. Second quarter, Torretta knocked down, lands on his left shoulder. Torretta left the game with a strained shoulder. Not serious enough to keep him out of next week's game against Arizona. Miami wins big, 38-zip. This game also featured a fight between Miami's Kevin Williams and Florida A&M's George Terrell. Both were kicked out. The game wasn't a total loss for A&M. You see, they received $150,000 for playing Miami. Meantime, Florida State quarterback Charlie Ward felt a bit crowded against the Wolfpack early on. He had a tough start. Ward gets sacked here by Carl Reeves. Then Ward throws the out pattern to nobody. Ward was sacked 3 times and threw 1 interception before he even completed a pass. Second quarter, though, Ward gets on track, finding Tamarick Vandover. What a throw for a 60-yard touchdown. Vandover's first career TD. Seminoles lead 7-zip. Then, in the third quarter, Ward again lofts another one. This time, a 44-yard strike to Shannon Baker, who makes the great catch. That gave FSU a 24-3 lead. They won this one easily, 34-13. Ward finishes with 3 touchdown passes, but he threw his 9th interception of the season. Right now, Ward has a higher turnover average in football than he had as a standout point guard with the Seminoles basketball team. Bill?
Well, tradition says that each year Notre Dame will play Michigan State. Count on it. And one thing you used to be able to count on was the Spartans giving the Irish a real good game when the game is played at East Lansing, which it was on Saturday, which is why the Spartans were feeling pretty good about themselves.
They're not as good as everybody makes them out to be. I think we can beat them. I thought Michigan obviously had a chance to beat them last week, and hopefully we can be one to knock them off.
Not. Second quarter, Rick Meyer fakes the reverse and finds a lonely Ray Griggs for the touchdown, 28-3 Irish. Lee Beckton takes the short kickoff, and he is gone. Breaking tackle after tackle all the way for the touchdown, and the Irish led at halftime 38-10. Second half, more of same. Kevin McDougal in for Meyer, finds Derek Mays, the one-handed grab for the touchdown. Irish win. Do they ever? 52-31. They've beaten the Spartans 6 straight times. Today, they rolled up over 500 total yards. The 52 points, the most ever surrendered by a Spartan team coached by George Perlis. Let's head to the Carrier Dome for Syracuse and Ohio State. First quarter, no score. Kirk Herbstreit. Play fake, back to pass to Brian Stateline into double coverage. What are you doing? Well, you're scoring a touchdown. That's what you're doing. 7-0 Buckeyes. The defense rose to the occasion. Derek Foster nailing Marvin Graves. One of 6 Buckeye sacks. They also have 4 interceptions. Fourth quarter, the Bucs lead 21-12. Give it to Robert Smith. See ya. 16 yards, touchdown. And OSU and John Cooper win a huge one on the road, 35-12. The Buckeyes had trouble getting past Louisville and Bowling Green, but they upset 10th-ranked Syracuse, make it 8th-ranked Syracuse on Saturday. Well, a trade went down in the NFL on Saturday. The Cowboys shoring up their secondary by picking up safety Thomas Everett from the Steelers for a middle-round draft pick next year. Everett had been a starter for the Steelers, but he missed the first 2 games in a contract dispute, a holdout. The Steelers lead the NFL in interceptions, so they could certainly afford to let Everett go. He is a native Texan. He's expected to sign a 3-year deal. Linda?
Now to baseball's American League East, where the Baltimore Orioles and Milwaukee Brewers continued their attempt at catching first-place Toronto. Brewers starting pitcher Chris Bosio is out to make club history with his 9th straight victory. It just so happens Bosio is the same guy who holds the Brewers' record for consecutive losses. Bosio set the tone early. Here he gets Chris Hoyles swinging. It was Fan Appreciation Day today, and the fans would appreciate if Bosio was signed. Tied at 1 in the 4th, B.J. Surhoff with a sharp single to right. Greg Vaughn scores. It's 2-1 Brewers. In the 7th, Bill Spires hits one deep, so deep, over the heads of everybody. Spires' first RBI of the year. He missed most of the year. 3-1 Brewers, and Doug Henry and Tim McIntosh in their own world. As the Brewers win 4-1, the win moves Milwaukee ahead of Baltimore into second place, 5 games back of first place Toronto. Take a closer look at what the Brewers are doing right. Look at their record when they score 4 runs or more. Milwaukee's bullpen should take some credit for that. Relievers have given up just 1 earned run in their last 22 innings. In Toronto, Conehead support was at an all-time high because David Cone was on the mound facing Jose Canseco, and it was Cone with a high heat backing Canseco off the plate. Look out. Hey, it worked. Cone struck out Canseco. He had 5 Ks on the day. Scott Champerino looked good as well. Champerino striking out Joe Carter. Bottom 6. The only run of the game provided by Roberto Alomar. The ground out scores Alfredo Griffin. 1-0 Blue Jays. In the 9th, Tom Henke facing Kevin Reimer. Reimer lining out to right. Joe Carter is there, who makes the sparkling grab. The Jays hold on to win it 1-0. Cone combining with Ward and Henke on a 4-hit shutout. No signs of a Toronto fade from first so far. They've won 15 of their last 20 games.
That pitching staff has certainly turned it around just in the nick of time. We have just scratched the surface of this edition of Sports Center. When we come back, Barry Bonds says, no, don't try it. Don't try it.
Also coming up next, we'll run down the top 25 in college football. Ricky on the run again, powering Michigan against the Cowboys. And a guy who's bigger than most football players, Eric Lindros, making his NHL debut with the Flyers. So stick around.
Some days you just can't lose. Wanna live, wanna spread the news. Some days you feel so good. Gotta smile, gotta knock on wood.
A great day calls for a great beer. The Michelob beers, with its smooth, classic taste. You don't find every day.
Better than others. Sweet dreams, baby.
Kemper, a financial services company.
Sweet dreams tonight.
Kemper, asset management, brokerage, and insurance.
Every baby needs a blanket to help them dream at night.
For growth, for protection, the companies of Kemper Corporation. We're making dreams come true.
Somehow, people have gotten the idea the new Toyota Paseo is a wildly exciting, sporty coupe. The Paseo is a practical, sensible car. Okay, so it has some muscle, and a low starting price could be a big turn-on. And sure, you're going to be instantly popular. That's no reason to do something impulsive. Think it over. The all-new Paseo, a very practical car from Toyota.
In the May 11th issue of Time, we reported what we saw during the riots in South Central Los Angeles. What we saw was the enemy, and the enemy was us. All of us. Can we all get along? If it's important to you, you'll find it in Time.
Sports Center is brought to you by the Michelob family of beers, because some days are better than others. And by the companies of Kemper Corporation, making dreams come true.
Well, he's not old enough to buy a beer, and he's just barely old enough to vote, but that doesn't mean that 19-year-old Eric Lindros can't dominate a hockey game. Lindros made his NHL debut on Saturday for the Flyers against the Nordiques, the team he said he would never play for. He'll play against them, though. Just preseason, but awfully impressive. Watch this. Eric Lindros dumped Valerie Kaminsky, drawing a roughing penalty. 2 penalties for Lindros in his first 2 shifts. A chippy player, eh? Off the pass here from Mark Recchi. Lindros beats Jacques Cloutier, and he is not a small guy. Third period, 3-3. Lindros returns the favor, feathering the pass to Recchi, and the Flyers beats Quebec 4-3. And if you think that was groovy, wait till October 6th when they drop the puck for real. The season opener of the NHL on ESPN. Lindros meets Lemieux, the Flyers and Penguins, live here on ESPN. Linda?
More groovy stuff now. Back to baseball. The Pittsburgh Pirates were looking to build on their 4-game lead in the National League East as they hosted the Phillies. So why is Pittsburgh manager Jim Leyland biting his nails? He can't be nervous. How can you be nervous when you have Barry Bonds on your team? Bonds ripping Tommy Green's pitch off the wall and right. Andy Van Slyke says, hey, that's good enough to come home. Van Slyke does come home, but it takes a beautiful slide by Slick to score. It's 3-0 Pirates. That would be enough for Doug Drabek. Here he gets NL RBI leader Darren Dalton swinging to end the inning. Top of the 9th, Drabek finishing it off in style, striking out Ricky Jordan. His 11th K, tying a career high. He shuts out the Phillies 3-zip. Drabek does have a reputation of peaking in the second half. In his career, he's 60-29 after the All-Star break. Barry Bonds, well, he just went 3 for 3, RBI number 94, and he swiped his 37th base of the year. The second-place Expos in New York, where Larry Walker was doing it again and doing what comes naturally. Wow. Bottom of the 4th, 2 on for Eddie Murray, facing Brian Barnes. Murray goes deep. His 16th homer this season, 414 in his career, ties him with Darrell Evans for 22nd on the all-time list. Mets lead 3-1. Bottom 8, it was a 3-3 tie. Bases loaded, none out against Mel Rojas. Chico Walker comes through, scores Pat Howell. Mets lead 4-3. Met fans finally have something to cheer about. They win 7-5. Another milestone for Murray. His 4 RBIs gives him 1558 in his career, and that ties him with Willie McCovey for 26th place. By the way, Brett Saberhagen made his first start in over 6 weeks. He gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs in 5 innings. And the loss, well, drops the Expos 5 back of the first-place Pirates. The Cards and Cubs play 2, and they split. Ryne Sandberg went 5 for 5 in the doubleheader with 4 walks and 3 RBIs. The Braves and Houston, well, those two teams went into extra innings. Game tied at 2, top of the 12th. Marvin Freeman on. Ernest Riles comes through. Yeah, Riles goes deep. It's Riles' first home run as an Astro. 3-2 Astros. Bottom 12, 2 outs, man at second. Lemke singles off Doug Jones. Gonzalez double pumps. Brian Hunter colliding here with Scott Service, but Service hangs on to end the game. And he lived to tell about it, unlike Greg Olson the night before. Astros win 3-2 in 12. It was the Astros' 5th straight, the Braves' 3rd straight loss, despite a 4 for 4 night by Damon Berryhill. One other note, Atlanta catcher Greg Olson, who was out for the year with a broken ankle, was placed on the 15-day disabled list. Elsewhere in the NL West, the Reds beat the Padres to move to within 7.5 of Atlanta, and Jeff Brantley and Bill Swift combined to shut out the Dodgers.
Now back to college football, and if not the game of the day, at least the matchup of the day, as number 2 Washington hosted number 12 Nebraska here on ESPN. The Huskies knowing that this could be their toughest game of the year, which meant if they were to win Saturday nights, they could be looking at a perfect season. To Seattle we go, the first night game ever played at Husky Stadium. That is Mark Brunell, and check out the electric run here by Napoleon Kaufman. Rumbling, stumbling, all the way down to the 1-yard line. That set up a touchdown run. Washington went up 16-7. The Huskies back for more. Billy Joe Hobart back in the game finds his old high school teammate, Joe Kralik. Was the knee down? The ref said yes. Nebraska tries to fight back. Derek Brown can't handle the pitch. The Huskies recover. They hold on for the win. And the final score, 29-14, Washington over Nebraska. The Huskies beating the Huskers. That's the 8th straight loss to a top 10 team by Nebraska. 8 straight home wins for Washington and 17 straight wins overall for the Huskies. And now the rest of the top 25, starting with number 5, Texas A&M at Missouri. The Aggies down 10-3 early in the 3rd quarter. Jeff Granger finds Tony Harrison, who breaks free for 73 yards in the touchdown. That tied it at 10 apiece. The Aggies went on to double up Mizzou 26-13. Oklahoma State was at number 6, Michigan. And it's sophomore Todd Collins filling in for the injured Elvis Gerbach. First quarter, no score. Collins finds Derek Alexander for the 7-yard touchdown. It was 7-0 Wolverines. On Michigan's next drive, Collins finds Alexander again. This time 44 yards, 14-0 Wolverines. Michigan rolls 35-3.
Just how good was Collins' Elvis impersonation? Pretty darn good. In his first start ever, Collins surpassed Gerbach's personal game highs in both completions and passing yards, breaking the school record for completions with 29. Nice debut. Number 9, Alabama at Arkansas. Bill Clinton on hand watching his Razorbacks. First quarter, no score. Bama's first offensive play. Derek Lassick, 33 yards, touchdown, 7-0 tie. Then, late in the first quarter, Jay Barker pulls out the shovel pass to Chris Anderson. 22 yards, touchdown, as Alabama rolls over the Razorbacks 38-11. Eastern Michigan at number 10, Penn State. We pick it up in the first quarter, 6-0 Nittany Lions. Kwasi Ramsey is picked off by Shelly Hammonds, who returns it uncut, 32 yards for the touchdown, 14-0 Nittany Lions. Later in the first quarter, 21-0 Penn State. John Saka to O.J. McDuffie, stays in bounds. Penn State cruising 52-7. Southern Cal at Oklahoma. We pick it up early in the fourth quarter. Trojans trailing 10-0. Rob Johnson to Curtis Conway. 51 yards, touchdown. The Trojans trailed 10-7. A few minutes later, Kenyon Rashad coughs it up. Stephon Pace picks it up and goes 17 yards for the touchdown. And the Trojans pull one out for Coach Larry Smith, 20-10 in Norman. Number 15, UCLA at BYU. Lavelle Edwards concerned. BYU trailing by 14 points late in the third, but John Walsh finds Eric Drage for the 19-yarder, and BYU was down by 7. The Cougars driving for the tie. Steve Clements forces it into coverage. Marvin Goodwin intercepts. BYU's hopes are dashed. UCLA handing BYU its first back-to-back home losses since '71. Georgia Tech at Virginia. First quarter, 3-0 Virginia. Tech quarterback Sean Jones flipping to Bobby Rodriguez, who finds Jason McGill. 48-yard touchdown. The Ramblin' Wreck led it 7-3. Then Virginia took over. Big time. Charles Way finds his way to the end zone for one of his 2 touchdowns. Virginia crushing Tech 55-24. And number 25, Ole Miss at Vanderbilt. We pick it up third quarter, 14-9 Vandy. Marcus Wilson to Clarence Civilian, 39 yards, touchdown, as Vandy crushes Ole Miss 31-9. And to Minneapolis for Colorado and Minnesota. Ty Detmer's little brother Coy, 24 yards to Charles Johnson for the score. Now 17 seconds left. That's Aaron Pipcorn trying a 55-yarder to win it for Minnesota. But no, it goes wide right. The Gophers, huge underdogs, almost pull it off. 21-20 was the final score as the Buffs come back from a 17-point deficit to beat Minnesota. While the Cardinal got past the Wildcats, Glenn Milburn, 111 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Georgia rebounding big time from last week's loss to Tennessee. Garrison Hurst rushing for 164 yards and 4 TDs. And the Bulldogs of Mississippi State squeaking past Memphis State. The Tigers now 0-3. They've blown fourth quarter leads in each of their 3 losses. Up next, the Brett Watch continues by George as the Yankees try to slow down his quest for 3,000. Stay with us.
Scott Schultz is our Republican nominee for Meridian Township Supervisor. He's a homeowner and a head of a household that includes his wife Kathy and his children Samantha and Scotty. Scott likes to spend as much time as he can with them, but he must also tend to business as Vice President of Kemper Securities, located on Hagedorn Road. As your supervisor, Scott Schultz will have the business background to make sure our government is efficient and effective, and the family background to make sure it serves people's needs. Vote for him on November 3rd.
Hi, this is Wayne Fonts of the Detroit Lions.
And Chris Nikoloff of the Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund.
You can help keep Lansing kids off the streets and out of trouble by offering an alternative to gangs and drugs.
The Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund is committed to once again providing Lansing's youth with a citywide summer parks program. But we need your help. Give kids a positive influence this summer by getting them off the streets and into Lansing's parks. Please send your donations today to the Lansing Youth and Recreation Fund.
It's impossible to watch all the NFL action on Sundays, right? Wrong. See every key play in 60 minutes of non-stop excitement. NFL Primetime, Sunday night on ESPN, when you're hungry for action.
Back to baseball now, the American League West, where it would be tough to find two teams with less in common right now than the A's and the Mariners. The A's, who had won 10 straight, on the verge of wrapping up first place. The M's, who had lost 14 straight, on the verge of wrapping up last place. They played again Saturday night. This is Ruben Sierra. Ruben Sierra.
All right, it's sliding right out of town. Ruben Sierra.
Two-run shot. His 16th of the year. The A's led it 2-0. But the M's come back in the bottom of the third. A's up 3-1. Ken Griffey Jr., the seeing eye single up the middle. Mike Blowers scores. It's a 3-2 ball game. After Tino Martinez tied the game with an RBI single, Jay Buhner follows with a base hit to left. Junior scores. The M's score 6 in the third. They win it 6-4, and the streak is over. In fact, the streaks are over. The M's 14-game losing streak, the A's 10-game winning streak, history. But the A's magic number is down to 6 because at the Big A, the Angels beat the Twins. 5-1 was the final score. Julio Valera, a 5-hitter, his 6th complete game, 5-1 California over the Twins. In Kansas City, the Brett watch continues.
Good pitch by
George in the first.
Was a fork ball.
Goes the opposite way. Here he goes around the bases. And he would wind up with 3 of them. A triple for Brett that drove in a run. 1-0 Royals. In the 5th, Brett lines a ground rule double to left. He went 2 for 4 on the night. A double, a triple. Brett now needs 13 hits in 15 games to get 3,000 this season. Oh, by the way, the Royals beat the Yanks 7-4. The Indians beat Jack McDowell and the White Sox 5-4. Reggie Jefferson, 3 hits, including a 2-run double in the 8th. And in Detroit, after Tim Naring had homered to put the Red Sox ahead in the 8th, he committed a 2-run error with 2 outs in the 9th to lose it. The Tigers win 3-2.
Time to turn it up a notch. Our college football coverage continues with a couple of close contests. Let's start with a battle in the SEC. LSU against Auburn. LSU down 27-7 after 3, but freshman QB Jamie Howard finds Scott Ray for the 55-yard score. LSU comes all the way back to lead by 1 with 1:30 left. But Pat Dye's team rallies, and with 8 seconds left, Scott Etheridge boots the 42-yard field goal. It's good. Auburn wins it 30-28. Pat Dye's team goes to 2-1. In Morgantown, West Virginia, Maryland was up 33-14 in the 4th, but here backup QB Darren Studstill hits Adrian Morrell flying into the end zone, and I mean flying. Ouch. Mounties back within 33-28, then with 1:20 left. It's Studstill to Morrell, the 20-yard touchdown pass. West Virginia pulls this one out and hangs on 34-33. Still more scores coming at you. North Carolina wins, so does Duke. The Blue Devils